Slam Pigs Podcast, episode 70. My God, 70 episodes. It seems like yesterday we started this last February. But when I say we, unfortunately, guys, Michael cannot make it this week. He's out doing a little business, playing in a pool tournament. But you know, as always, I got some good valleys around. I went to my go-to guys, Maniac Matt, Luscious Logan from Cruise Control, and Union Smack. What's going on, guys? How's it going? How was your week?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Logan, how was your week?
I'm just happy to be here and do my job as usual. Come on now.
Well, shots fired already. And we're not done. We have a very, very special guest making his debut on Anything a Biggie TMD. Good friend of mine I just met recently. Cannot recommend checking out his show anymore. The Prodigal J. Welcome, my man. Finally, we got you on. How are you, my friend? And how's it going?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you so much again for having me on the show. Can't wait to talk some wrestling. Absolutely happy to be on the show. I know you guys know your stuff, so absolutely happy to be here.
Without a doubt, man. Real quick, Jay, where can everyone follow you on Twitter, your great shows, and everything you do?
So everyone can follow me on Twitter at WWPNJB, and I'm part of the Wrestling World Podcast Network. We have podcasts on iTunes, Stitcher, all the podcast platforms, as well on YouTube. You can follow us on YouTube, but the YouTube channels, just search Wrestling World Podcast Network, and our podcast Twitter is at the WWPN, or the WWPN.com is our website.
Very good. One of my favorite things on your channel, you started a new trivia show, which I'm excited to be on in the future. So, guys, check out all of the shows. Good stuff. And, of course, Maniac Matt, where can everyone check you out?
You can check me out on Twitter at TenantFutureDW, and you'll be able to check me and Logan out very soon on the Future of Wrestling podcast.
There it is. And finally, the man of the hour, Mr. Cruise Control himself. Logan, where can everyone check you out on what you do?
Check me out on Twitter at LoganMyers144. Hey, and by the way, Jay, you sound a lot better than Michael as well. Letting you know that.
I'm gonna say no comment. I'm the new guy here, so I'm gonna just say no comment.
There could be a very good chance he's listening right now, Logan. So tread lightly.
I don't care.
You know not to put it past Michael. He will call in live.
This is live. This is live.
Yes, we are live.
Well, we all know Michael can't do anything live. He would have to have his videos edited because he can't talk right.
But anyway, we are back, episode 70. A lot's gone down since our show last week. A couple newsworthy things real quick before we get into Raw and SmackDown this week. Mauro Ranallo, guys, is on his way back to NXT. I'm glad. I am super happy because for him to just, leave the way he did was kind of criminal. He is so good. Possibly could be this generation's Jim Ross. Couple things maybe I'd tweak in Mauro, maybe not so many pop culture references maybe, but what do you guys think? We'll start with Jay. What do you think of Mauro coming back to NXT?
Hey, I'm absolutely happy he's back. I mean, you saying he's this generation's Jim Ross is no exaggeration whatsoever. I absolutely love his calling. He has a little bit of an old school feel to me, the way he calls his matches, which I absolutely love. So I have to wonder though, what was the purpose? What was the reasoning behind them having him come back? Did it have anything to do with the lawyers and this is some sort of agreement, or was this just Triple H saying, "Hey, just go on NXT"?
I don't know if it was ever set in stone and confirmed that JBL was bullying him, and that was the reason. Unless you know something I don't. Maybe it was a travel issue because he does boxing and stuff. He does MMA. Maybe he just likes to chill in Orlando. He doesn't want to travel around as much. Who knows?
Right.
Matt, what are your 2 cents on Mauro coming to NXT?
Yeah, I'm happy about it. As long as we get rid of fucking Showtime Percy Watson or hear less of him, then it can only be a good thing for NXT and all the talent under its banner.
I can't really picture the gentleman Nigel McGuinness bullying Mauro too much. I know the biggest Mauro fan in here, though. Logan, I know you are hyped like Mojo Rawley about this announcement this week.
Yeah, I'm very hyped. Mauro is one of the greatest announcers on commentary today. And to answer your question, there, Maniac Matt, it has been announced at the tapings that Percy Watson is still on commentary. Sadly.
Seriously?
So Mauro has replaced Tom Phillips.
You know what? Say what you want.
Mm.
I defend Tom Phillips on the show all the time. I think he's really underrated. He's not awful, guys. He's got a good voice to it. A lot of people can't get around the face fucking, obviously, from his tweets, but I think
That's
Tom
why I
Phillips
like
is
him.
fine.
That too.
But obviously, Mauro's better, and I think NXT is the perfect fit for Mauro and Alo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A couple other things. This stemming from this weekend. New Ring of Honor World Champion, guys. Did you see
I heard
this?
this. I heard this. Cody
Right.
Rhodes.
Yep. Well, don't say Rhodes. You'll go to court. Jay, what do you think about Cody winning the ROH title?
So I'm probably gonna get a lot of heat for saying this, but I've never really been huge on Cody. Let's just leave it at Cody. We don't want any lawsuits for Slam Big. So yeah, I've never been big on the guy. ROH decided to go with him. That's fine. Yeah, I guess for them it's okay. I really don't have much to comment. I just don't think he's that type of dude that you want as your ace or whatever. I am more interested. I know we're not really specifically talking about New Japan. I'm interested to see what they do with him and Okada moving forward. But I guess this is a step in that direction. We'll see what happens there.
Shout out to the live chat. First time ever, Kristen Luck. I have never seen you, but thank you for joining us. Glad to have you here. I totally agree. People can come at me too. I've been a big fan of Cody Rhodes, and they can take me to court. I don't give a fuck. It won't be my first time in court. My thing with Cody Rhodes, solid ICUS guy. Solid. But as the guy, I don't really see it either. I have to agree with you 100% on that. Matt, what do you think about Cody as the top guy in a company, so to speak?
I mean, for a company like Ring of Honor, it's a really big coup. But how far is he really going to go before WWE snap him back up? That's my only problem. I can see him returning to WWE in the next year or so. I just can't see him as a legitimate headliner.
See, he's one of those guys, and I'll get to your 2 cents on it real quick, Logan. I think there's a better chance of seeing Punk back than Rhodes because Rhodes was so fucking miserable. It seemed like borderline even more than Punk by the end, or as bad. Logan, what do you think about Cody as a world title guy?
I see him more as a mid-card performer. He was definitely misused in WWE, and he was definitely miserable. And you could see it. He didn't want to be Stardust. He didn't want anything to do with Stardust. And that's just, I don't see him as a world champion material.
I think that speaks to Cody as a performer because I think we all thought when he was so active as Stardust, everybody assumed that he was all about that character and trying to get it over. Like, it was your nope, it wasn't. But say what you want, he tried like a motherfucker. If anything, the Rhodes family, Dusty, Dustin, and Cody all have that similarity when they take shit and make it into chicken salad or something. You know what I'm saying? It's like Dusty Rhodes with polka dots, Gold Dust. On paper, Gold Dust looked like the most ridiculous asinine hokey gimmick, but he made it work. And Cody did. I didn't like Stardust, but I think he got the best out of it mileage he could. You know what I mean?
I don't mean to cut you off, but like I said, I think Goldust made that character work then, and he's still making it work now. And you got to admit, Goldust isn't bad. I like it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think WWE actually dropped the ball with Cody multiple times. When he had the whole thing with Goldust and they actually brought back Dusty. They had something going there and they never did anything. I think everybody was waiting for Goldust and Cody to split leading up to some match, maybe at WrestleMania or somewhere else, and that never came. And even before that, when he was doing the whole wearing the mask and he's wearing the hoodie, and he had a little something going there, and they never really did anything with it. So I think they dropped the ball on him. Again, I'm not saying the guy's a bad talent. I just don't see him as a world title talent. But yeah, it remains to be seen. I actually agree with you. I think we have a better chance seeing Punk over Cody Rhodes at this point.
And we say, I feel like we say it every week anymore, guys. And that's okay for Cody because at the end of the day, not everybody can be the guy, and a lot of people need to accept that. I mean, that to the beginning of time in wrestling, it's been like that. You've always had your solid mid card guys. It helps round out a show. If everybody's a top guy on the show, then you get to WCW territory when it was like that, and you see how well that worked out for WCW. You know what I mean? But
if you think about it, Cody, he let it get to him that he wasn't pushed in that position. CM Punk was in that position, and he let it get to his head that he was too big of a guy to be facing a guy like Triple H. So that's just my opinion. I think both of them got that was in their heads.
I mean, Matt, do you think there's a good chance to see Cody back next year, or do you think it's a long shot?
I mean, it's probably a long shot, but why not? You know what I mean? SmackDown Live now is different to what Raw and SmackDown were when Cody was about. So I think if you can push fucking Jinder Mahal to the top of the SmackDown Live roster, for whatever reason, it doesn't matter, Cody Rhodes would be a good fit in there. A heel Cody Rhodes, he could give some good matches against the likes of Randy Orton and AJ Styles. I would like to see him back.
If anything, at the end of the day, I think we're all definitely fans of Cody. He has come a long way since tagging up with Hardcore Holly. I think we can all agree.
He has, and he brought some legitimacy back to the Intercontinental title after a long period. It had just been buried.
He was just one of those guys where that IC belt just looks so good on him, like a
Yes.
kind of like a Mr. Perfect, where it was like peanut butter and jelly. Cody Rhodes is kind of made to wear that title. It just fit. You know what I mean?
And wasn't it Cody that brought back, or was credited with bringing back the white strap on it?
I
Yes.
believe so, yeah. I think that feud with Big Show.
For me, that's a big like punch the air moment. That's like bringing back a bit of history.
Yeah, but unfortunately, guys, we don't have a lot going on in the news this week. I know we don't really want to get into Paige and Alberto Del Rio breaking up because who cares? But without further ado, I think there's no better time to say it's time for this week's Raw Review. Monday Night Raw this week was Live Baby Live. You know what? I've seen a lot of people, I'm not going to name any names, nobody on this show, so don't worry, but I'm so tired of, as soon as Roman Reigns is on any card, people just disregard it. They don't even give it a chance. Guys, he's really not that goddamn bad. You know what I mean? He's not.
He's not.
And this in-ring segment with Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns, of course, making his announcement this week, and the ratings were up, by the way, a smidge from Roman. They did promote it well, Roman. Roman shoehorned.
That's why I don't understand why they shit on every segment that he's in.
I think it's more a case of people they're not. They need to be shitting on the writers and the booking of Roman, not Roman. And that line right there is getting lost. It's not really Roman's fault. You know what I mean? Roman isn't bad in ring. We say it every fucking week. I feel like he can go. We've seen what he does with Styles. You saw what he did with Braun Strowman. Great match at Payback.
Match against Samoa Joe.
Yeah, but speaking of Samoa Joe, I was on our good buddy Broski's podcast the other day, K-Faith Today podcast, first thing in the morning. Go there on YouTube, check him out. But I said that this segment came up with Joe and Roman, came off more intense than Brock and Roman. What do you guys think? Anybody?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think the Roman Reigns speech before this, he really heelish. Like the look on his face, the crowd reaction. He couldn't have looked or sounded more like a heel. If he'd have gone and smashed Rollins with a chair. Right. I really, really enjoyed it.
Their booking. Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Sorry about that. I absolutely agree with that as well. I felt the Joe and Joe promo, if you want to call it that, considering they're both Samoa and Joe. I felt it was absolutely intense, and I agree with what you're saying regarding the Roman hate train. I for one am aboard that hate train to a certain extent, but majority of my issues with him are actually booking and creative. The issues I had with him, maybe when he first started, from Roman's garbage in the ring, went to Roman's not that bad in the ring, to Roman's okay in the ring, to now Roman's a pretty decent guy in the ring. He's having, I could list a multitude of matches that they were really solid matches. His promos could probably do a little bit of work. It's not consistent. Sometimes he has good ones, sometimes he doesn't. But I think people do really need to get off the hate train. You can't blame a guy for booking and creative. He has no say in that, or at least has only up to a certain amount of say.
And also, I don't think everyone goes out there even Shawn Michaels in his prime was, look at his match with Vader. He didn't always, hit a home run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Logan, what do you think of this segment of Joe and Roman? Logan? Have you fallen asleep? I think Logan fell asleep. I don't know where he went.
My thing was becoming froze there for a second. Sorry.
Real quick, what did you think of this segment with Joe and Roman, Logan?
I thought it was intense, and I actually thought it was almost as close as how intense it was between Brock Lesnar and Samoa Joe. And I actually enjoyed the segment. I would love to see a more feuding between the two. I think it'd be pretty good.
I agree. A lot of people also complain that they wasted this on Raw or whatever. I think these guys really surprised me with the match they had later on, and we'll get into that. But I think this could definitely be a feud in the future. And I don't think they wasted anything by doing this on Raw. If anything, it was just like an appetizer before the main course. And I'm invested. I want to see more, believe it or not.
Yep, I agree with that.
But let's get to the more the things on the show that weren't as good. Finn Balor interrupts Elias Sampson's latest performance. Thank fucking God. It's just not working. I hate to be that fucking wet blanket already. It's just not working with Finn Balor. They made the mistake of stacking their goddamn Raw roster too much with Rollins, Balor. It's just Christ. It's too much right now. It really is. They're not even giving the guy to reintroduce someone from injury. You at least look what they did with Rollins a year or so ago. All these comeback vignette stories that got him nothing but sympathy babyface heat. They've done nothing. Nothing with Balor. Like, oh, he's here. He's back. That's at least what I got from it. Jay, what do you think they're doing wrong with Balor, and is it fixable?
Yeah, it's always fixable. Problem is we're dealing with WWE booking here, so you don't know. But even to get to this point, you said one magic word, and that magic word can solve so many issues with the WWE, and that's vignettes.
Yeah. When
someone is debuting on the main roster, or even debuting on NXT, or coming back from injury or a hiatus, vignettes that was the blueprint back in the days, and I don't understand why they shied away from that. Yes, they do it every now and then, but they're not doing it anymore. But as far as Finn Balor currently right now, it is absolutely fixable, but they have to get him into a proper feud, a feud that fits, that's believable, that us, the fans, the viewers care about, and they are absolutely stacked on Raw, but they have to find some sort of balance to get all these big talents into something worthwhile.
Yeah, I agree. Matt, 2 cents on Balor.
Yeah, I agree with Jay. I think as far as the vignettes go, they wanted to keep it mostly surprise, but then piss that up the wall by having him return on a house show and then broadcasting that on YouTube. I just think they had a ready-made feud for him in that he never lost the Universal title and maybe could have entered into something with Triple H from WrestleMania to SummerSlam, culminating at SummerSlam, if they'd have brought him back at WrestleMania to aid Rollins, I think.
I think another problem is, Logan, that Finn Balor and Seth Rollins as babyfaces on the same roster, it does neither one any favors. We can all agree both of those guys are literally stagnating right now because it's like they canceled each other out. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the take I got from it. That's what it feels like. I went to a house show. You guys all saw the video clip. Finn Balor was not advertised. Jinder Mahal came out when he was still in Raw. And it was just a surprise. Finn Balor came out. And it was great. But it's like, Christ, it's just this disconnect when these guys come to the main roster. And you said, yes, vignettes. We're too busy giving R-Truth a fucking promo instead of a fucking vignette. Why aren't they getting over? Gee, I don't know, Vince. I don't know. Logan, what do you think about Balor? And do you think that it's too little too late, or it's still... I mean, Jay said it's always fixable. I don't think it's always fixable. I think there's cases like a Buff Bagwell sometimes where, it was kind of too little too late. But what do you think?
Dallas.
Honestly, I think it's too early to tell. And that's just personal opinion. I think when it comes down to it, there's so much talent on Raw that he's kind of overshadowed right now. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, that was the sentiment I think we're all saying. It's just too stacked.
It's a stacked roster, and I just don't see him facing Elias Sampson. I'm actually intrigued to see where this goes.
Yeah, I mean, Elias Sampson was attacked in this, but later for a Balor promo, which thank God was interrupted, because Christ. Elias Sampson got his fucking heat back, and he attacked Balor. I'm not a huge fan of Sampson, but I did like to see him in not a cannon fodder job role. At least it builds, and Balor's going to win the feud if this is a feud, but at least it just doesn't make it look so one-sided. Would you agree, Jay?
Yeah, I do agree. They have to do something so it doesn't look one-sided. Obviously, I think we all can agree that Finn Balor's going to come out on top of this one. But I do have to ask you guys, Is this kind of a letdown or a step down for Finn Balor? I mean, he's feuding with Elias Sampson. Don't get me wrong, Elias Sampson's a decent talent, but he's no top tier talent. Not even, I wouldn't even consider him a high mid carder. They're probably just doing this just to fill time until they figure out what they're gonna do with him. But do you guys think this is a step down?
Yes, would be my answer to that. I think he's gone from the first ever Universal Champion to limitless amounts of potential and talent, and people going, where are WWE going to take him next? Like, the world was his oyster, to he's stuck in a rut and they don't know how to get him out of it.
And that's their fault, because they made the critical mistake. It doesn't take more than watching 5 minutes of Finn Balor to know he's not the best on a mic, okay? Yeah. So what's their solution? Give him a fucking mic every week.
That's the same with Bayley, though, isn't it? Like, we've seen it fail, and yet we've seen WWE repeat history over and over again, and it's not getting into their heads. That
I totally agree, though, Jay.
Something different.
There's certain times in wrestling where you can literally just watch the show and it's like they got nothing for this guy. They're just killing time. And I think they're just holding off. And I still say Joe's getting that title, Great Balls of Fire. And I think that's the title match at SummerSlam is Balor and Joe. I'm calling it.
That's a pretty nice prediction, and I would love to see that. And yeah, going back to your point, yeah, they are absolutely holding off. And I think the reason they're doing that is because they know Finn Balor has that. He never lost the Universal title, and we're going to see that card played eventually, and they're just holding off until that it's time to play that card.
There was a blunder, a pothole in Roman's promo, Logan, where he said Finn Balor never beat him, right? I caught that. Well, guess what? Yep. Finn Balor had beat him last year, so
yep.
Way to keep it consistent, WWE. I'm not shocked. Well, Logan, next on the show, we went to the Hardys and Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. A lot of people think that Gallows and Anderson got too much offense in, where, the Hardys are still going for the title. That's a fine line to walk in this, because I'm a huge Gallows and Anderson fan. I'm not, none of us are keen on how they've been handled. At least they've had a title run under their belts. I thought it was fine. I thought this match was fine. I didn't really see a problem with it. What did you guys think, Matt?
Right now, I honestly couldn't give two shits about the Hardys. I know they were brought back at WrestleMania to a great ovation. I think the lack of the broken gimmick has just killed it for me. That they've turned them into just a basic normal tag team, and they should have been more than that.
They're doing what they did with the Dudleys, like when they made them a nostalgia act. At least the Hardys are winning, as opposed to when they made the Dudleys. But yeah, I'm totally off the nostalgia train. Like I'm done with it. I'm ready for Broken Matt. Obviously, we all know why we haven't gotten it. Logan, what did you think of this segment on Raw?
They're really misusing Gallows and Anderson. I can't stand the fact that how they're misusing them. And to the people that are saying that they had too much offense against the Hardys, it's a fucking tag team match. They have chemistry as a tag team. You can't just book every match as the person that the team that's or a person or teams that is going for a championship just basically make the other team or person job out.
Right. I mean, even the Colognes get at least 5 minutes in,
I mean, basically what I'm trying to say is if we booked it as a job, the fans will bitch and complain. And the way they booked it on Raw, they bitched and complained. They're not happy no matter what.
Oh yeah, that's stating the obvious. The fans today they don't know. Jay, are you worried for Gallows and Anderson, Jay, at this point, or do you think it'll pan out for them in the end? Like they just want to be company guys right now. Like, sure, I'll eat the pin. What do you think the future holds for Gallows and Anderson?
Yeah, the thing is, between Gallows and Anderson, I think at the end of the day, it's all about the money. It's just a paycheck. But the thing is, if anyone has seen these guys before they were in WWE from New Japan, these guys are capable of a lot. They have a very high potential. So WWE is lacking as far as how they're using them. Now, regarding their match on Monday Night Raw, I was absolutely fine with the match. Absolutely fine. I don't understand why people would say, Luke Gallows and Anderson shouldn't get enough offense. That doesn't make any sense. They're not jobbers. The clubs are not jobbers. They're former tag champs, for Christ's sake. So, that doesn't make any sense. Regarding the Hardys, I mean, I was at WrestleMania, and the freaking pop was ridiculous. I know everyone saw it, regardless of whether you were there or saw it on television. It was ridiculous. we've seen New Age Outlaws come back. We've seen the Dudleys come back, and the nostalgic act does wear off. But even more than that, not even the nostalgic act, but the fact that everybody knows there is another gimmick out there, a better gimmick out there that everyone's clawing for and they're not getting. I think that's what's the problem right now. If they never had a broken gimmick, I think the Hardys would be fine right now. But because everybody know that gimmick exists, no one gives a shit about nostalgia at this point. Everyone wants the broken.
Yeah.
And do you guys think that WWE are really going to be able to book this broken gimmick properly?
I do not have the faith that they will handle it the way it should. I think we'll get a couple shining moments from it if they do, but I don't think, obviously, with their track record, no, I don't. I mean, I could be completely wrong, and they could, you know.
There is only one. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry, go.
I apologize. There is only one way I think the broken thing does work, and that's if they allow Matt and Jeff Hardy to have a lot of say in what they do. If they just leave it up to Vince or creative, we're about to see a lot of really weird shit happen.
You basically stole the words that I was going to say, so you're fine. Just don't apologize there, Jay.
But we'll move the train along on Raw. Now, I'm a Rollins fan. I am. I think this was probably one of the worst segments on Raw, though. I always hate when they unveil these covers. It's like, really? It's fine, but it doesn't need to eat up 15 minutes of your show. A terrible goddamn Rollins promo. This was bad. And, of course, Bray Wyatt at this point, the way they booked him, I could give two shits about Bray Wyatt. And that's sad because 2 months ago on SmackDown, he was tearing it up. You know, I said it on Broski's show the other day. If anybody suffered the most out of the superstar shakeup, it's been Bray Wyatt. But this segment, guys, did not get over with me at all. I literally took a piss. Literally. I just left the room. It was that bad. What did you guys think of this? Matt?
Hated it. I don't like that they spent, out of the 15 minutes from beginning to end, they must have spent at least 8 whoring their new game. I don't like that. It's Raw. Do that on your network, do it on the website, YouTube channel, whatever. Don't take up nearly 8 minutes with Seth Rollins listing his accomplishments like we care. Not even wrestling accomplishments.
Yeah,
I didn't care.
The synopsis at the end of the day from this long-winded Rollins promo was, I used to be bad, now I'm good. That was it.
You gave me a second chance, everyone. I don't care. Like, how many people have been given second chances by the fans before? They don't come out and like brag about it. That whole speech existed just to get that fucking game over. We know when it's coming out. We've seen it all on .com. And as for Bray Wyatt's promo, it was fine. I've always liked his promos, but I don't see him winning this feud. Not unless something miraculous happens.
Jay, was this a low point of Raw for you this week? That obviously wasn't Apollo Crews or anything like that, as far as you know.
I mean, there was so many low points. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. But, regarding this, again, this promo, just like you guys said, just to share the same remnants, I didn't really like anything on this promo. I will absolutely say, though, the trailer for the game was amazing. I would have probably rather see the trailer looped 3 times versus this Rollins promo.
I feel like I've said it 100 times this week. Best trailer they've ever done for any of the games. It was amazing. It really was. And it was like, you know how when they do these trailers, it's always like a Hall of Famer or a legend. So this whole trailer, I'm like, who the fuck could this be? Like, I kind of thought Rollins, like, no, they're going to pull a bigger name. No, it was Rollins. And my thing is, this is how you should book him on your show. Stop giving him a mic. Is it me?
It's not you. I think we all agree.
Calm down there, Travis.
Yeah.
Thing is, certain guys should be talkers and have mic, and certain guys should just stick to the in-ring stuff. Like Brock Lesnar, for example. I mean, as much as I love the guy, this guy does not belong anywhere close to a mic. He starts squealing like a girl, and it's just, that may be me. I'm the only one that has that opinion, but some guys just need to stay away from the mic.
Exactly.
Seth Rollins is decent, but I'm going to go out there and say Bray Wyatt is probably the best talker right now on Raw.
I don't know, depending on what he's given, though, because half the time it's just like a riddle and this speaking. At the end of the day, yeah, he's good, but it's literally the same fucking thing. every week. At least Jake, and I know he's channeling Jake
It's
Roberts.
better than it's. I'd rather listen to a promo that's the same promo from Bray Wyatt than anything that a majority of the roster says.
That's true, but the thing is, I don't care about Bray Wyatt right now. A big part of that is his promos are all the same for me. You know what I mean? At least, he's going the whole Jake Roberts route, channeling him with that. I don't need to yell in my promos. We get that. But at least Jake Roberts, one of the best storytellers on a mic. It was always something different
Come
with
on,
Jake
Babbitt.
Roberts.
Come on. Don't get me heated here.
Get
I mean,
heated.
they're only
I'm not intimidated. Get it heated. What are you going to do? Do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
we can't say that the reason why we're not interested in Bray Wyatt right now is because of Bray Wyatt. It's the booking. It's the roster shakeup. Everything that's happened in the last couple months is because of what they are pushing Bray Wyatt to do. To me, I much rather see Bray Wyatt in a title picture than Dean Ambrose.
Yeah,
I think
I
we
would
all
agree
would.
with that.
Does Bray need a title though?
I think he does right now.
I don't think he needs a
He
title.
needs
He just
something.
needs wins. He needs wins, clean wins.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I'll
And he
agree
needs-
with that. But at the
he
same
needs-
time, he needs to be pushed to be like a major star again, and he's not.
Yep. Matt, you're going to chime in real quick?
I was just going to say Bray Wyatt also needs an opponent who isn't so bothered about his own ego that they can't put him over. That everything he did with Randy Orton it was terrible. Like, I'm 100% on the train that Randy Orton is to blame for at least part of Bray Wyatt's fall since WrestleMania.
I mean, having worms and spaghetti and pizza holograms on the ring
Yeah,
at
that doesn't
WrestleMania.
That was so
No.
stupid.
Well, I did read that Randy Orton actually pushed for Bray Wyatt to go over.
Really?
I actually read too that Randy Orton was
Well-
really enjoying working with the Wyatts, like Harper and stuff.
Well, do you know what? You would not have known it.
You would
in
know.
their
You would not have
singles
known
matches.
that. You will not know that Randy Orton is enjoying himself unless he wrestles in St. Louis. That's like the only time he comes across as he's not phoning it in.
Yeah.
Let Logan.
Regarding-
Let's go ahead.
I'm sorry. Regarding Bray, though, I think the writing is on the wall. I mean, the guy is such a good talent, in my opinion. At least he can speak really well. And the fact that the biggest story that has happened to him over the last couple months is he's getting a divorce in real life says a lot.
A lot of people say that, send him, he needs to go to New Japan and, reinvent. He doesn't need to do that, guys, because let's be honest, promos aren't really the driving force to getting you over in Japan.
Absolutely.
I don't see that. If anything, I think, and we'll get to this later, I think Ziggler would fit way better right now to rejuvenate himself. But we'll move the train along to your bread and butter, Logan. Amazing match. Akira Tozawa, TJP. I know you really enjoyed this match, Logan.
I did really enjoy this match. I will say this right now. If they're not going to put the Cruiserweight Championship on anybody else besides Neville and Cedric Alexander, Tozawa is the guy.
I agree.
Unless you want to put it on a Mustafa Ali. But right now, I think it's too soon for him.
Oh, yeah, by far. I don't even see him getting that title in like a year and a half. Like, it's going to be a while for Ali. And I totally agree. And a lot of people are like straying this whole Titus brand thing with Tozawa. Guys, calm down. Because I see it playing out in my head. He's going to have enough. He's going to get fed up, kick Titus in the head, and then he's going to get serious for his rematch. And he's going to beat Neville for the title in his rematch. Like the first match, he'll beat Titus Brand, but something will happen and Titus will cost him the match. I can see it like I'm watching it now with their booking. You know what I mean?
But at
That's
the
your-
same time, the way they pushed it with the promo of Titus O'Neil to Neville, I kind of got into the fact that he's even pushing to be the manager of Tozawa. So it's kind of awesome to see. And I don't want to. What do you guys think, Matt and Jay?
I thought the Titus brand could probably be good for undercard wrestlers who aren't doing anything right now. But I think the main hitch of that is Titus O'Neil himself. Who cares about Titus O'Neil now? I don't know one person who actually cares if he gets over, if the Titus brand works. And I think, sadly, an Apollo Crews with him it's a death knell for Apollo Crews' career. I don't know why you'd bring Apollo Crews up from SmackDown, where he wasn't making waves in the first place, bring him up to an overcrowded Raw where he's going to get lost in the shuffle, clearly, and then you give him to a wrestler who for me, shouldn't be on the roster with all this fucking terrible storyline and.
Yeah, I think regarding the Titus brand, it's just a glorified job squad, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They don't have anything going on with any of these guys. The one advantage they do have is Apollo Crews has absolutely zero personality, and Tozawa, is not the best on the mic, obviously, due to language and stuff like that. So Titus is absolutely no freaking John Cena on the mic either, but he's better than the other two. So at least they have some sort of mouthpiece. I think that we do eventually see Tozawa splitting from the group. I mean, I could see that being like a Royal Rumble pre-show match or something like that. So, yeah, I don't think this thing is going to go on too long with Tozawa, but I guess it's something for them to do. It's better than doing nothing.
Yeah, I have to agree. But, at the end of the day, great match. It really was. And I know a lot of people, when these cruiserweight matches come on, they zone out. You guys, and I made Matt do his homework this week for Union Smack. He did watch Swan and Neville this week, Logan. Guys, you really are missing great in-ring on that show. The booking sucks, but the in-ring is tremendous on 205 Live and Cruiserweight Division.
205 Live the last 2 weeks have actually been phenomenal. What did you think of the match of Rich Swann and Neville there, Matt?
I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. And I said to Travis that even though I haven't watched 205 Live since it's been on, in fact, this Neville, apart from like the pay-per-view matches, the Neville versus Swan match could possibly be the best match in 205 Live history. And that's me saying it. Who's never watched it? I found it that good.
Yeah, guys, go out of your way to check out that match from 205 Live this week. Give it a chance. You'll be pleasantly surprised. Now, guys, it's a 3-hour show. There's some things, that can, obviously we can take it past. We don't need to talk about Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil versus Cesaro and Sheamus at all, unless you guys really want to. I will talk about probably the second worst part of Raw, which, considering what he's been doing on the mic, was really disappointing. The Miz approaching. Is Bo Dallas homeless now, by the way? Like, has he just been stagnated and creative that long that he's homeless? Because, Christ.
No, he just wants to be his brother.
Yeah, that's true. I got that feeling watching it. Like, is he preparing for, like, wave 2 of the Wyatt family?
He's waiting for the call-up. But, yeah, the Miz approaches Curtis Axel, who needs to wear a hat or shave his head, by the way. Backstage, a proposition, their words, for a new kind of little stable group, which would play later out in the segment. The worst Miz TV segment of the year, I'm going to call it right now, was on the show. Yeah. Jay, give us a quick synopsis. What went down on this?
Yeah, well, I mean, they had the whole. I don't even want to do a synopsis, only because it's just so garbage. I feel like the ratings of this show, as good as this show we're on right now, Slam Pigs, is so good. Even by talking about that, may drop the ratings. As good as this show is. It really pisses me off, to be honest with you, though, because I feel like the Miz has been one of the top, if not the top guy, over the last couple months. As far as everything goes, in ring. On the mic, just overall, a character. He's been so good and so consistent, and now they have him doing stupid stuff like this, and now he has Bo Dallas with him. It's not something I want to see. I feel like he should be doing so much better. I mean, the guy's the Intercontinental Champ, for Christ's sake. He could be doing a lot better.
I agree. This segment, guys, I'll try to breeze by it for you, Jay, as fast as I can. It was the Miz, apologizing to that pussy, trying to keep it on lockdown. And Jay, by the way, welcome to Slam Pigs. There's pussy references all day. Apologizing for the broken grandfather clock. And by the way, my dad, who is nowhere near a Hollywood millionaire or whatever, his grandfather clock was way nicer than either of these grandfather clocks we've seen. Maybe they could have upped the game a little bit. I'm just saying. But, opens the present. We have 2 bears, by the way. So obviously, we're not 7 years old, guys. We know where this is going before it even plays out. Ambrose comes out, the clock breaks again, and it's revealed that Axel and Bo Dallas run to the bear mass. Apparently a new stable. Maurice storms off. Now, in the news this week, I've seen that because of Maria and Mike Kanellis coming in as a couple, WWE Creative wants to split up possibly Maurice and The Miz. How asinine is that's like, I don't know. You guys, I don't want to get pissed off again. Matt, what do you think about that fucking plan?
I don't like it. I think Miz and Maurice, there's money in them. much more than there is in Mike and Maria. Christ. And like this whole angle played to me as one huge setup. Like, I don't want to see any more Miz versus Ambrose. I'm done with that feud.
Yeah.
But I think Maurice is playing at the pissed off wife just to come back at Great Balls of Fire and cost Ambrose the match. Like, it's another crappy setup.
I agree. Logan, did this do it for you, or did you think this was the abysmal shits this week?
My God, if they separate Miz and Maurice and what they have accomplished together, I think will be far none compared to what they would do with this little stable that they're trying to create. I don't understand. I mean, come on now. It would be understandable to break one of the groups up if they were on the same brand, but SmackDown is a different brand. What's the big deal?
And do we really want to see Maurice wrestle again for the Women's Championship? I mean, is that something we're all relishing?
How could anybody backstage at WWE not look at their television screen when the Miz and Maurice are out there and not see that they are just peanut butter and goddamn jelly? They complement each other so well.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop some old school on you, Jay, because I know you're equipped. You remember gorgeous Jimmy Garvin, correct? Back in the day.
Yes.
His real-life wife, Precious, had no chemistry with him. None. They are lucky enough to have an actual man and wife that had this kind of chemistry, and to squander it, I see it playing out, though. Like, they're going to tease this, and it's going to be a swerve. Miz and the Maurice are in cahoots all along, and it's going to cost Ambrose the match. That's how I see it playing out. That'd be the right thing to do.
That would be the right thing to do, and I think for once and very few times WWE will do the right thing. I do think that it is always a swerve. At least I hope. I hope they don't break up. Who gives a shit if Maria Kanellis and Mike Bennett are here? They're not even on the same brand, and they're you can't even compare the two. Sure, Maria is smoking hot. Outside of that, what else do they have going for them? Absolutely nothing. So Miz and Maurice, like you said, peanut butter and jelly, they go together, gold. They're one of the best acts right now in all of WWE. To break them up would just be stupid.
If there's any two segments on our live show tonight, guys, that I really am bummed out that Michael can't be here for. He is an avid Miz fan. Like, that's his fucking guy. And he's a big Enzo and Cass fan. We'll get to that later. He would be breaking every piece of furniture in my room right now, because I'm sure he didn't know that news topic about them maybe breaking up. So I'm kind of glad he's not here to destroy my house, but asinine. And I've only come around on the Miz in like the last year and a half, 2 years. I wasn't a huge fan of his. But, he's converted me. He's been killing it on the mic, and it's just like another guy that was affected by the Superstar shakeup. They're just giving him shit to work with, Matt.
They are. And Miz was, apart from AJ Styles, clearly, Miz was the best part of SmackDown for me. Like, his matches against Ziggler for the Intercontinental title were almost all gold. Like, I would have kept Miz on SmackDown. Keep Kevin Owens on Raw. I love Kevin Owens, but I think The Miz needed the exposure of SmackDown more than Owens did.
Now, guys, I'm going to drop. This is a jamboree session. We did not know he was going to come on the show. Our good buddy Miss March was in the chat. She is actually here in about 2 seconds going to join us. So we're going to have a female perspective on the Miz and Maurice angle here as soon as she picks up. Just wait on Chris. But yeah, Logan, what's your 2 cents on this real quick about them possibly setting up before Kristen joins us?
I swear if they separate them, it just ruins everything positive about what they've accomplished. They're a couple. They're married in real life. And I just don't understand it. I don't get it. It's too soon to even break them up just because there's another couple on a different brand that just got here.
Mm-hmm.
So why? Why do it?
They just can't help themselves because at the end of the day, Vince gets bored. I really think Vince gets bored. If it's not a swerve, it's Vince's bored. You know what I mean? That's all I can equate it to because it is head scratching. It's beyond head scratching to even contemplate splitting them up.
At this point, I think Vince is just throwing shit at a wall and see what can stick. At this point, it's like let's just do anything and hopefully something goes over.
Well, before we move on, for the first time, Miss March on Twitter, welcome to Slam Pigs Podcast, my dear. How are you?
I am doing all right.
Well, we're just wrapping up. You were joining the live chat, so you probably heard the news is they could split up the Miz and Maurice. That's the word on the streets with creative because of Mike and Maria Kanellis now. They don't want two couples, which is absurd. What's your 2 cents on that, and what did you think of the awful segment on Raw with the Miz and Ambrose?
I was gonna say that hands down had to be one of the. I literally felt my IQ drop watching that. Like that was absolutely terrible. As far as them splitting them up, like I get it, a lot of people don't like the Miz, but that's the thing. He's always said, whether you're talking good or bad about him and his title runs or whatever the case may be, that's the thing. You're still talking about the brand, you're talking about the company, you're doing exactly what he wants. The fact that they want to split that up, why? I don't get it.
Yeah. And
I
how
don't
silly of
understand.
me. And where are my manners? Real quick, where can everyone follow you on Twitter? And if you have a YouTube channel or anything, you do want to shout out, plug real quick.
I do have a Twitter. It is at Miss March 89. I don't have a YouTube channel as of yet. I do a show, as you're aware of. If you, oh no, you're not in the chat anymore. But
No.
well, no, that's because of other shit. But we won't get into that.
It's
These
not
people
worth it.
are fucking sensitive, not you. But yeah, he's left the chat since then, like shortly after you did.
I'm not even worried about it. It's all good. It's all good.
But we do a podcast, me, Michael, Grizz, which is Bear Wrestling News,
Okay.
and I call Shenanigans, which is his brother, for Bear Club 316. And that is a kind of group channel. I did have one at one point of my own. Shit happened. It got hacked.
Yeah.
A lot of my videos got deleted, so I had to create a whole new account. So eventually I will start my own, not to, put anything down on my boys, but
Right on.
a girl's gonna have her own show too, to have her own opinion. Like,
Hey, you know
yes, I
what?
am.
Perfect fucking segue because I can drop this on you, Logan, live on air this week on Slam Pigs Cruise Control from Michael, British Michael, M Sport 8 from Bear, from your boys over there, is going to be guest on Cruise Control this week, Logan, our first guest. He does a 205 live show. I had to find somebody to boost the numbers because Christ, nobody watches the fucking show, the actual show, not our show. Looking forward to that. Check that out this week. Guys, let's talk about my favorite goddamn part of Raw. To a hero's welcome, which probably isn't good considering he's supposed to be a heel. Roman Reigns is out in the ring, right? Matt, what went down with the ambulance and all that good shit?
Well, what went down was the best match of the night by far. Though, can I just say that that fucking "This is awesome" chant is really overused. It's becoming the next holy shit chant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't really have to work
right up there with
hard to get it.
That's annoying for me. So
yeah, I mean the match began with I'd say a botch, with Booker T on commentary saying Samoa Joe's the ultimate prize fighter. Sorry, but I thought that was Kevin Owens. Fucking
quack.
Kevin Owens' shirt says it.
Yeah. But great, I agree. Great match with Joe and Roman. Logan, what did you think of Roman and Joe's match this week? Jay, what did you think? Oh, okay, there it is. I thought you were.
I'm here. It's being stupid. My phone's being a Michael, okay?
Ooh.
All right. Now, for the match, I thought that Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns match was phenomenal. No pun intended to AJ Styles. I think that Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns has great chemistry together. And just the ending of that match and what happened afterwards was by far, I am not finished with you yet.
Yeah, let's say it. Back and forth competitive match, Jay with Roman and Joe. They exceeded my expectation. Like, I thought it'd be okay, pretty good, but nothing like I was blown away a little bit. All of a sudden, Jay, we hear an ambulance siren, and I knew right away as soon as I heard that what was going to go down. What did you think how this played out? And that was fucking awesome that Braun got that kind of pop, but is that good? You know what I mean? 2 cents, Jay.
Yeah, the thing is, I was ecstatic when I heard that ambulance because I think everyone knew what was coming. It was Braun coming. The fact that the crowd was cheering and popping for him, I don't think matters because I mean this is a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But I don't even think babyface and heels even exist in 2017 anymore, at least in the WWE product. So whether they're popping for him when they should be booing for him, I don't think it even matters at this point. The fact that they're getting a reaction, I think that's all WWE cares about. But this guy is obviously super over. All I can hope and pray is that they don't screw it up somehow. Just let it come organically. But I absolutely loved every part of this entire segment, including the match and then the stuff we got with Braun. I'm not done with you yet. Someone needs to put that shit on a t-shirt. And
if you look it down on my format here, I literally have written down, Kristen, ambulance rolls in, Braun shows up, yells his own name, and that's it. What did you think of Braun coming back, Kristen?
I mean, I know, like, following, because I do follow him on Twitter. I knew he said, the doctors had cleared him to come back. So I knew it was eventual, that he was going to come back. As to how soon, I wasn't really sure. So actually watching, the match, and I'm like, okay, yeah, good match. And then you hear, Braun! I was like, oh, God, I favored so hard. Like, probably woke up everybody in my house, didn't really care. And all you could hear me screaming is, Braun! It was...
We're going to get along tremendously, I can tell already.
Like you said, in the words, no discredit to AJ Styles, but it was phenomenal.
Yeah, I really like the segment. And like I said, to a hero's welcome. And here's what I would have done. I feel like I've said this a million times this week. I would have saved Braun coming back. I would have had Braun come back and cost Brock the title, okay? I would have had Brock and Braun at SummerSlam as just an attraction. No fucking belt. That is a big enough attraction because I'm dying to see that match. I don't know about you guys, but I would love to see that match. And then I would have gone Joe and Balor for the Universal title. But, of course, they couldn't help themselves. They need to blow their loads. Vince has no patience. We're getting an ambulance match. I'm sure it'll be a really good match, but not the way I would have done it. Jay, how would you have booked Braun's comeback?
I would have done the same thing. And again, I'm a strong believer. I know I've probably said it a couple times, and you've probably said it a couple times as well. I'm an old school guy. Back in the day, things were slow burning. I even talked about this on one of our podcasts a couple weeks ago. Things in WWE are just not that way. Everything is about instant gratification now. They don't just slow roll anything. I mean, to them, a long feud is something that lasts like 2 months, where back in the day it was 4, 5, 6, even a year. So yeah, I think they could have waited, hold back on it, and absolutely, I would love to see Brock versus Braun. Who wouldn't love to see that? That match is so big, you don't need a title. So yeah, I mean, that's what I would have done as well. So I think that's good booking. And again, that's an issue that we have a guy, Travis, here doing a podcast, yet he's a better booker than the actual WWE creative team. That's an issue.
Yep.
I'll be your booker, man, Brian Pillman.
My last 2 cents is this.
Go ahead, look.
If Brock Lesnar keeps the Universal Championship and he's the champion at SummerSlam, and Braun destroys Roman Reigns and wins the ambulance match, Braun should go over at SummerSlam and win the Universal Championship against Brock.
We talked about it earlier. I think it was you, Jay, that mentioned about Bray Wyatt, guys that don't need a title. Matt, I really don't think that Braun needs a title.
No, I'd agree with that. He's a big enough entity on his own. Can I just say, I'd have booked his comeback exactly like this, but in the main event of Raw. You know what I mean? This was a main event comeback, and you prioritise Cass and Enzo over. And
that's another thing that, excuse me, it made the Enzo and Cass turn so obvious because it was booked as the very last segment. Now, they haven't been setting the world on fire with how they booked. Let's be honest. They're a mid-card fucking tag team. If it was just going to be like the Revival or somebody, all along, they would have put them in the middle of the show. So them headlining it, you knew it was going to be a turn in the first place. Here's another thing.
I told you that months ago, and everybody said on this podcast said to me, it's not going to be a big cast. There's too much money in them.
There was only one viable option that everyone would have been like, what the fuck? And I called it, and I thought it would happen, but they didn't do it. And I can understand why they didn't do it, but I think everyone would have been shocked if it turned out to be that Enzo was the attacker. He set up himself being attacked, and he was the one who attacked Cass the week that Cass got attacked. And the first couple weeks that he got attacked, it was just a setup. Having Enzo go heel obviously is risky considering how he is on the mic and stuff, but I think that would have been sort of all swerves. Nobody would be expecting Enzo.
Hey, shout out to our good pally Megan Starr in the chat. Glad to have you. Thanks for stopping by. I can't hate on that, I guess. We'll get to this later. We'll save it, guys, because we only got like one more thing. Something really weird that struck me. Funny you should be here, Kristen. The women on the show got nothing until the third fucking hour, and we didn't. And I'm fine with cooling off Alexa Bliss for a week. You don't need to overexpose her, even though she's good on the mic. Sometimes look what it did for the New Day. They cooled them off for a couple months, and now they're getting good reactions as opposed to what they were getting. But this, Nia Jax, Sasha Banks, Kristen, this fell flat. This match is what, a fucking minute and a half, 2 minutes, if that.
Yeah, that was actually a little upsetting. Like sitting there watching that. I mean this with the utmost respect. Nia Jax is a big bitch. Like
you don't have to. You're on Slam Pigs, my dear. There is no respect on the show.
Touché. Fair enough. But Nia Jax is a big bitch. Like the one thing I don't agree with WWE wise, this is just my own personal thing. Sitting there and kind of fat shaming her, weighing 270 pounds. Like there ain't no fucking way in hell that bitch is 270 pounds. Maybe 200, maybe even 205. Yeah, maybe dudes, but there's no way she's 270 pounds. But the fact that Sasha's always been that one, like watching her develop from, because I live in Florida, and getting to see her in NXT events, like at house shows and live events, was fucking phenomenal. That match was flatter than soda that's been left out in the sun with the cap off for like a week. Like that was horrible.
I literally could not think of a better way to describe that metaphorically. So well done on the flat soda reference. I don't know, man. Watching this, because we were hot off the heels the night before that abomination of a women's Money in the Bank, I was like, are the women on strike? Are they picketing? Are they that fucking offended? Like, we're just not getting women on the show? But no, I mean, I think a lot of it comes down to, and come at me, guys, with Sasha Banks, the Cash Me Outside girl. It's just perception's reality. And it's really hard for me to believe that Sasha Banks could even last more than 20 seconds with a Nia Jax. Call me crazy. I know it's Pro Wrestling Logan, before you attack me, but what did you think of this segment and this match?
What do you mean, attack you?
Well, I don't know. I'm just trying to play my cards right here.
No, I was a little disappointed that they took the third freaking hour to even expose the women. To be honest with you,
to expose the women. I couldn't have put that any better myself. I know you didn't mean to say it that way, but that was perfect. So don't change the thing, you doll baby.
Okay, hang on. So, I actually, before I say anything, I did read on social media somebody complained about Bayley running down the entrance ramp braless. She only had a shirt on.
Wait. So you're telling me that on social media somebody complained about Raw? No fucking way. Get out of town.
Somebody complained about Bayley running down the entrance ramp without wearing a bra.
Oh, wow.
Her tits aren't that big. She doesn't have fucking triple D titties that she's got to keep them suckers contained.
Yeah, if anything, she's got to maintain that booty more than.
And and the bad thing is, it was a dude, and he said, "This isn't PG." I was like, "Well, it's not like she didn't have a shirt on too."
This isn't PG, as opposed to fucking Sasha Banks and Charlotte and fucking all of them who are wrestling in brawls and shit, pretty much. You know what I mean?
That's how the ratings would go up.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, her boobs were bouncing up and down. Woohoo! Why are you gonna complain? You're a guy. Please don't tell me you're something else.
Maybe he was watching with his kids, Logan.
Well, then he needs to put his kids to bed at fucking 10 something.
It's not like back
I
in the
could
old
care
days.
less who wears a bra. I could care less. It's fine. It didn't offend me.
It's not like back in the old days when Sable had just black fucking tape.
Are you talking about the little handprints on her titties?
Yeah.
Oh God, but that wasn't offensive back then. Oh no, a woman doesn't wear a bra. I'm offended. What the fuck is
on?
I like this girl, man.
I have to give it up to Bayley on this segment. I think she's looked a little bit better than what she has in the past couple months. So I got to give her that.
I'd agree with that.
Are we at the point where we're splitting hairs that much with women not wearing a bra to the ring? Are people that
Exactly.
is Raw that fucking boring for you people?
Exactly.
And it would be a guy to say it too.
Like it's
Well,
getting
you would
ridiculous now. I think that is a testament
would
to how
expect a
shitty
woman
Raw is.
like
That people are talking
feminist.
about who's wearing bras. Next thing you know, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, the rope wasn't exactly level; it was 2 degrees off.
Next
I mean,
week,
it's
next week there's gonna be some dude on Twitter be like, you know what? I could see Rollins' cock through his tights. He wasn't wearing a cup. I'm offended.
people say that about AJ Styles right now.
Yeah, blown out his ass. That wasn't PG. Let's get down to business. End the part. You guys see it on the thumbnail. Enzo Amore, Big Cass, no more. Rest in peace, Maniac Matt. I know out of all of us on this episode, you were all about this split. So by all means, man, do tell.
I just didn't see any money in them anymore. I wasn't a fan of them in NXT. They were clearly going to do nothing with them on the roster. And for me, had the Hardy Boys not returned at WrestleMania, I'd have turned Cass heel at WrestleMania. Made a big fucking thing of it.
Ooh.
There was just no life for me in them. You know, I could not see, if the attacker wasn't Big Cass, then where they would take Enzo and Big Cass after this.
Let's go ahead and I don't know how anyone couldn't see this segment, but Kurt Angle out there with Enzo Amore and Big Cass calling him out, calls the Revival out. Of course, they were accused. Scott Dawson, my God, man, I'm Scott. He sounds like my neighbor. Holy shit! But anyway, it wasn't them. Blah blah blah. You knew it wasn't going to be them. It's never the obvious in wrestling, guys. Like, come on.
It's never the obvious one. God.
Nope. It's just like last week when you saw Shinsuke posing with the Money in the Bank to close SmackDown. That means he's not fucking winning it, guys.
Exactly.
Followed by the Big Show, Jay. More or less, Big Show was offended, and this led to, in my opinion, I didn't know that Big Cass had this in him. This was a tremendous promo. As much as I'm against, breaking up this team, I was really a little bit blown away. And even to Enzo Amore, who gets on me like nails on a chalkboard, he cried. He cried, Jay. It was well done. I don't agree with it, but at least they did it well. What did you think on the split, Jay?
It was. I just want to break down a couple of things. Number one, Big Show leaving, like, oh, you don't believe me, I'm leaving. That was like the biggest bitch thing ever. That's number one. Yep. Number two, I think everybody saw this coming, Big Cass turning on Enzo, but I don't think anybody could have ever guessed how well this would be done, number one. Number two, Big Cass cut the promo of his life. I've always been one that always roasted him as far as his promo skills goes, because I feel like he has like zero personality sometimes. He's just so monotone. But my God, the promo was so good, and the fact that just to top it all off, Enzo channeling God knows what and starts tearing up. It just worked so great together.
Now, at the end of the day, though, as well as this was executed, Jay, are you for the split, or do you think they took their money and they threw it in the fucking trash? Because I'll give my 2 cents in real quick, and I'll let you guys go around the board because mine will be real quick. Even during this, it kept showing shots of all these kids in Enzo and Cass merch, and you know how big of a heart on they have for guys that sell merch, and it doesn't register to me why they did this. But Jay, what did you think? You might think differently.
So here's the thing. For me, I would have liked to see, because I really like these guys. I would have liked to see them have a proper run as a tag team. They never had a chance at the tag titles, at least to win it. So I would have liked to see them a proper run. I honestly don't believe at not even 1% do merch sales get hurt, because I do think Enzo is the merch seller of the two. All of his stuff, his little hat thing with his hair and all the shirts. What's that?
The wig with the little, oh my God.
All that stuff is going to continue to sell because Enzo's still going to rock all that stuff. And maybe even more stuff, the realest guy in the room. Okay, there's a new shirt. So it's going to continue. But I just would have liked to see them have it run a little bit longer. Not only that, we're seeing so many damn breakups. I don't know what the hell is going on with Vince McMahon. If him and freaking Linda McMahon have some issues and he's just outing it on the storylines, everyone's breaking up for some reason.
And that's the thing. You guys see it on the title of this video. It says stop breaking up tag teams, right? But the thing is, I would give the DIY breakup a cunt hair more of a pass than this because, Gargano and Ciampa, they are proven singles commodities. Like, they were good singles guys. We haven't really seen that from Enzo and Cass, and I've never seen them in a singles run. So you're taking a hell of a risk. And I didn't even think about it. Like, yeah, Enzo is the merch seller, I guess, but I always said this about Enzo and Cass. They were like the modern day New Age Outlaws. They just had that chemistry where they didn't, but at least the Outlaws got a title run. You know what I'm saying? I go back to the days of when they split up the Outlaws and it fell flat. Nobody cared. Nobody wanted to see them fight. And I'm just worried that's going to be the route of this. Logan, what did you think of R.I.P. Enzo and Cass?
I was going to let ladies go first, so.
Oh, what a gentleman and a scholar. Go ahead, Chris.
You don't have to, because I'm definitely not a lady by any stretch of the imagination. I have the mouth of a fucking sailor. But moving right along with that,
making me laugh, so let's go.
But honestly, sitting there watching that, I will admit it, I definitely am a Cass and Enzo girl. I will admit I do own a lot of their merchandise. Honestly, I swear to God, sitting there watching that, I felt like I could hear in the background, like if you close your eyes and you were just listening to them talk, you could hear Sarah McLachlan in the arms of an angel just playing in the background, like, you know the real sad dog commercials where you hear in the arms of it? That's, I swear to God, if you close your eyes and just listen to them talk like that, that's all I could hear as I watched that.
Guys,
segment.
be sure to spay and neuter your pets. Don't forget.
What is this? Price is Right?
I was going to say we want the prices right, but I agree. I definitely think they're taking a really big risk by splitting them up. Like, I don't understand. Well, I don't think anybody really understands WWE's creative reasoning behind anything they've done lately.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see as time plays on. I'm not sure how I feel, but I don't like it personally. But I mean, eventually I knew everything's got to come to an end. Like, that's what kind of pisses me off with how they've done DIY, because, seeing them in NXT, like I said, at the events that are here locally and live, I was like, okay, yeah, DIY, everyone was big for them and, had all their merch, and then they break them up. And I literally sat there. I was on the phone with Michael, and I sat there and I was like, I feel like this shirt is a fucking waste right now because I just bought this. And then they split them up. They need to stop. Meanwhile, this is the only tag team at that point that had been broken up. I said they need to stop breaking up tag teams. This is not going to be good in the long run. So then it was DIY. Now we've got Enzo and Big Cass. Like you said, they're talking in the works of Miz and splitting up. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like was stated previously, is there something going on with Lynn and Vince? Like, they can't put it out in the public like that. So they're just like, yeah, we're going to split everybody up. Tommaso and Ciampa, gone. New Day, gone. Like, they're going to split up everyone. And it's just going to be a shit show. But who knows? Maybe this break will be a good thing. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. Not sure how I feel about it, though.
It is really early, and I hate to be that guy that always judges something so early, but I don't see this panning out well. But could be wrong. Logies, what do you think?
Well, first of all, we all know Vince doesn't run and do the NXT booking, so I think he just said he saw the chops. So, that's gonna break ratings.
Well, goddamn, how it worked down there. Why can't it work up here?
Do that shit too.
Oh god.
So I think that's part of the reason why everybody's being broken up. I think Big Cass had one of the best promos to date. You can't underestimate what he can do in the ring either. He's got the look. He looks like Test from back in the old days.
He looks like Test and Edge. He looks like Test and Edge had sex, and that's their son.
That was their love child. Ted.
And don't forget Christian. Christian was in there with the threesome.
Ew. Oh, now you're just getting gross with it. Now we gotta move the train on.
That's awkward even for me.
You can't get knocked up by two people at once. It doesn't work that way.
Actually, no. I've got to stop you on that one, Travis.
Oh god.
Who's actually going to the medical field as a nurse. There have been cases. It's not very frequent, obviously, but there are cases where women who have had sex with multiple partners within a very short time frame, say 24 hours, 12 hours, maybe even a couple of hours, who have had twins and had two different fathers.
Well, you know,
Michael.
I invite you on my show and you call me a liar, but it's fine.
No.
I'm just messing with you.
Michael, for example, Michael.
Michael isn't here, Logan. Why are you talking to Michael? What are you doing?
Yeah, for example, he's gotten knocked up by 2 different guys.
Wow.
What?
I hope to God.
I am.
Oh my god.
I hope to God,
I'm
Michael.
so lost. I won't stay
See,
lost.
it's going to
here.
be confusing for you, Kristen, because Michael is a co-host for you. Michael is actually the co-host for Slam Pigs, who couldn't make it this week. That's why we got just this jamboree going on. So if it gets confusing, we'll just call him Mike the Slam Pig for that sake of that.
Okay.
And that was how they closed Raw this week, guys. Let's go across the boards. Start with the Maniac, Matt. What would you give overall grade for Raw this week?
C.
All right, very to the point with that. He really wanted that C. Eddie. Jumpin' Jay, what did you think of Monday Night Raw?
This is from an A to an F, you're saying?
Yeah, grade wise, like we're in school.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an R. I give it a D.
Rated R. You gave it the D.
Yeah.
Gave it that sweet D.
Nah, this show is shit, really.
Miss Kristen, what did you think of Raw this week?
It wasn't horrible, and that's not really saying much, just because the past couple of weeks have kind of been shit. I would say maybe a C. It could have brought a lot more. Like you said, the women's whole division, that was shit. The Enzo and Cass and breaking up of tag team, shit. The only thing I felt that kind of redeemed it, in all honesty, was Braun Strowman. Like, I really do. Braun! It's like, okay, yeah, that made it a little better, but other than that, I felt it was just, It didn't really, it wasn't anything to write home about.
Right. Logan, what did you think of Raw this week?
B-.
Ooh, look at you taking my
Wow.
fucking grade. That's what I was going to give it. Go ahead.
B- because of Braun.
You know what? Come at me. I'm going to give it a B- too because I thought Raw was way better than SmackDown this week, which we're going to get into in a second. I thought Logan, is it just me or I'm noticing I know it's a 3-hour show, so bear with me. But it feels like in the past 2 or 3 weeks, guys, the show's getting more of a flow back to it as opposed to more filler. Like there was continuity with fucking the Drifter. They didn't just let Balor go out and squash him. They let him. They continued that. Not saying it was great. The Joe and Roman promo, I think, is shocking. None of you guys are bringing up. That was tremendous. It was really fucking good. In the match, of course, the Enzo and Cass split sucked, but because the execution was so well, I got to give it a pass for me. The Braun thing, obviously, the best part of Raw. B-, man. I mean, there was more good than bad, I think, on the show this week, honestly.
I agree.
The thing is, outside of the Cass and Enzo thing, Braun coming back, and the Roman Joe match, I think everything else was just not good. That's the only reason why I gave it such a bad. I mean, if we're just talking about those things specifically, the show was a damn A. But then when you add in all the other garbage, I think maybe D's being too harsh, maybe C. But yeah, I mean, it did have its high points, but its high points were high, but its low points were freaking low.
Well, have no fear. I'm about to whip out the D here in a second when we get to SmackDown. So,
okay.
About to lay the SmackDown.
I guess there's no better time than other guys than to talk about this week's SmackDown review. SmackDown this week, live as usual. Let's get all of the fucking social justice warriors out of the way, all the bullshit with the Money in the Bank. Yes, this was kicked off with what I thought. I don't know about you guys. She's never set my world on fire at any other point. Carmella, tremendous heel promo. I'll go, and I'll be a gentleman. Ladies first. Kristen, what did you think of Carmella's promo?
I liked it. I mean, like, obviously, WWE obviously wants, people to talk about them. Good, bad, well, not bad, obviously. God forbid we speak ill of the hallowed Father and Savior WWE. But, I mean, that's the thing. There have been several controversial matches throughout the whole course of WWE and its tenure. Carmella, not necessarily that did piss me off. the fact that Becky Lynch was so close, and then James Ellsworth just, oh, here, let me grab the briefcase, just drop it in her hands. But that's the thing. It got her the heat that she needed. That promo was phenomenal. That was awesome. I couldn't have seen it any better. I mean, maybe WWE could think that they did, but no, I think overall it wasn't a bad promo.
Can't agree. And, you know, before we get to any other guys, my 2 cents, we talked about it on the post show last week. I didn't have a problem with Ellsworth climbing the ladder and giving it Carmella. You guys want to know why? Jay, you want to take a guess why I didn't have a problem? Because she's a fucking heel! She's a heel! You're supposed to cheat! You're supposed to cheat! My problem was the match had no meat to it. There was nothing to that ladder match. There was no... It's a ladder match, and your one high spot was a top rope spot, not even using the goddamn ladder. That was my issue. I love the finish. The finish got me to pop. Maniac, Matt, what did you think of Carmella's promo this week? And we already got your 2 cents on the post show last week with the ladder match, but I think... And Kristen, this isn't anything against you at all. It's just saying the fact that got you, it's showing me that that's what they wanted. They elicited the heel reaction from you with a man going up.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? The finish I didn't have a problem with. It was just that match fucking sucked. You know?
Well, like I was sitting there talking with a group of friends because we were sitting there watching the pay-per-view, and what made me laugh, ironically, because you're like, oh, you know, you didn't have a problem with the way she did it. One of my friends was sitting there as we were all watching it together, and he goes, oh, she lied, she cheated, and she stole the title. I was like, so in other words, she pulled a page out of Eddie Guerrero's playbook. Mm-hmm. She lied, she cheated, she stole, and she got the title. Yeah. She got the chance for a title, rather. I actually thought it was really good. I was really rooting for Becky Lynch. I do kind of root for the underdogs. Like, no offense, Natalya would have been okay, but she's not getting that pop like that. Like, Becky Lynch, honestly, only isn't getting a push the way that she should be because of fucking Kevin Dunn. But that's no.
Bucky Beaver.
We're not going to get started on fucking Beaver.
Sucking.
Why am I just now meeting you? Jesus Christ, Kristen. You could have been on the show fucking months ago. Matt, I will say, if anything, from the ladder match in itself, my thing is with these milestones they give the women, that's great. That's fucking great. We talked about it earlier today. We recorded Union Smack. The problem is, if they would have flipped the script and had a woman go up and get it for a man, nobody would have said shit. That's why I don't want my social justice warriors in my wrestling. Stay out of my wrestling, snowflakes. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I love the promo. I think Carmella, she looked like a champion and she carried herself like one as well. And for me, like stature-wise, not in ring yet, she's got a long way to go. But stature-wise, with how she carries herself, she'll be a great champion. And I think she's going to win Money in the Bank next week because the story's got legs.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, if anything, it was so dumb. We all saw guys at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view after the match. They love to, show tweets from Daniel Bryan and shit. There'll be repercussions Tuesday. Now, Jay, a smart heel, would have just fucking cashed it in Sunday, which we thought was going to happen. That way you could avoid the repercussions. I already got the belt. Come at me, motherfucker. But what would you have done, and did you like Carmella's promo?
Yeah, I firstly, let me just say also, the fact that there were people who were actually pissed off with the way this is finished, as much shit as we give WWE booking, this was exactly what they wanted. This thing was booked on purpose to go this way because they know people would raise a fuss about it. So it worked. Number two, people who think that the rematches happen because, oh yeah, we spoke up but now they're redoing it is just absolutely absurd because Vince McMahon could give two shits what we really want as fans. I think that's kind of obvious. This whole thing was planned. I think Carmella does actually win again. And then, like you said, all the social justice warriors, they shut up. They can't say anything anymore. And Carmella goes over. Regarding what should have been done, I would have maybe not have her go over at Money in the Bank, but I would have had her done it from the point she felt, hey, you know what? They maybe take this shit away on Smackdown. She should have cashed it in at some point in that show and say, you know what, I'm cashing before they can get to me. I'm gonna cash it in. And the promo she cut was amazing, and much like Cass, it was the best promo she's cut. And it's funny because these two are a couple in real life, and they both cut career promos on the same week.
Yeah, I think she tweeted out during his promo like, "Tell him, baby," or something on Twitter while it was going on.
Yeah, it was a great promo, and she said exactly what a heel should say. In that moment, that's exactly what a heel should say.
I totally agree with what you said. The problem is, I think, where we're at in wrestling, Logan, with mixing the social justice warriors and wrestling. God, you talk about oil and water. This has been going on, I think, since, do you guys remember that takeover, the Iron Woman match, where Sasha did that amazing, and I don't mean to keep bringing up Izzy on every fucking episode, guys. Fuck Izzy's mom, but she did that amazing goddamn heel shit to Izzy and made her cry, and that was tremendous. And what the fuck happened? Her goddamn parents complained to the company, and they made her apologize. They made her apologize. That's where we're at in wrestling. When a heel, it's like these same fucking people who had a fucking shit fit about this praise Kevin Owens on social media for being a heel. You can't have it both ways, people. Logan, what did you think? I didn't mean to yell at you, Logan. It's not at you, man.
What is wrong with you tonight, Travis?
I'm fired up. I took your gimmick, brother.
Oh, this is fucking great.
Big infringement.
We'll talk about royalties after the show. I'll throw you a bone, but go ahead.
You owe me some of them Domino's freaking bread things now.
They're so good, man. They got stuffed jalapeno and cheese in them. You can't fuck with it. This isn't a snack cast, though, so let's get back to the Carmella show. Real quick, so we can move on, so I can stop saying the name Carmella. What did you think about the promo?
I thought the promo was decent. It was better than most of the women. I'd rather listen to her on the mic than Alicia Fox.
Alicia Fox.
God. Yeah, I think across the boards, none of us had a problem with Carmella's promo. It's just like the last thing you can do in this is go back and be like, all right, redo. That's the last thing you ever want to do in pro wrestling, guys. Like, I don't know. As much as we all love,
isn't known for really making smart decisions, so there's that.
as much as we all love Daniel Bryan closing out WrestleMania 30, overcoming, it was tremendous. I'm sure everyone on this episode right now popped like a motherfucker, correct, when that happened? Because the build-up. But that was a case of WWE changed plans because they listened to people whining and bitching. Can you imagine WWE doing that in like 98? Matt?
I disagree.
Good.
No, I can't. From what we've seen, Travis, on Union Smack, I can't.
It's just
Travis,
it's just like ever since the Daniel Bryan storyline, it's like fans feel entitled now. Like, well, if we don't like it, they're going to change it for us. No, that's not how wrestling works. You hang on for the ride and let the story play out. You're not pulling the strings.
But Travis, I just want to make sure I understand. Are you saying, like you specifically, you think the rematch is happening because of what the fans said?
100%.
No, I kind of disagree with that. I think this is the first time we're disagreeing on this episode. I think WWE planned this, and they're having the rematch not because, and that's what I was saying before, not because people were saying shit. I think it was planned this way, and I think Carmella's gonna go over anyway. Because if fans' voice meant anything, we would not be seeing 90% of the shit we're seeing on the show right now. But so that's why I don't think they give a damn what we say and how we feel. Vince at the end of the day is gonna do what he wants to do.
But the other 90. Go ahead, Jay. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was going to finish up. What I'm saying is the rematch, I think, was 100% pre-planned. And I think, and we talked about this a little bit on our podcast, I think one of the reasons why we're getting a rematch has nothing to do with what everyone's saying. I think because things have been dropping, and the fact that they're going to have a Money in the Bank match on a SmackDown, that's and you said earlier, that's like they're doing all these things like first time ever. It's the first time ever we're going to get a Money in the Bank on a regular show, SmackDown, and it's a woman's Money in the Bank, and really, no one has any idea who's going to win, even though I think it's obvious Carmella's going to win, at least for me. But it's a big thing, and it may draw ratings. You don't be surprised if you see SmackDown ratings go up this week.
Oh, I agree. I think I agree to an extent on what you said, but I agree about the ratings thing. The thing is, the other 90% of shit that people are bitching about and isn't changing, that, Elias Sampson isn't exactly, a touchy social justice warrior subject. This was a social, I can see it like I was there backstage. Stephanie McMahon. You know how Stephanie McMahon represents all fucking women when there's a milestone match. And I don't think it was as much the meat to the match as the finish that I could literally see Stephanie being so upset that, oh my God, a man, God forbid, went up that ladder. I just think this was more of a case of it was a more obviously a misogynistic viewpoint of it, and the social justice warriors out in full force. That's why I think they changed their fucking minds and did this. I don't give them credit enough to think that far ahead. Can you blame me? I mean, but I could be completely wrong. I mean, you could be right. Like I said, I agree with what you said to an extent. I just think that this was different because, Jesus Christ, you know how they get with the first women's Hell in a Cell match back last year, right? We can all agree that match kind of fell flat, correct?
Yes.
But
yes.
the way they say it was better than Foley and Undertaker. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ. You know why? Because Stephanie McMahon at the end of the day is using her PR fucking bullshit for this women's movement or whatever. And I'm telling you, man, I just think this was a case of no, this offended too many snowflakes backstage on social media, and they are a publicly traded company now, and that's the last thing they would ever want to come off as a misogynistic blah blah blah. They see how well Holly Holm and Ronda Rousey is and how well that translates. I just think at the end of the day, they knew that they fucked up, and they're like, all right, mulligan, redo, And that's like I said, that's the last thing you usually want to do as a booker because you control the strings. They pay to see you. You don't pander to your fans at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with you. If this in fact is a case where they're doing it just to make everyone feel better, that's absolutely stupid. At the end of the day, who gives a shit what everyone says? You got to do what you have planned. So I hope that's not the case. But if they actually planned this and no one had the foresight to say, hey, you know what, this may cause an issue with the way the world works in 2017. They have a lot of problems because I could have seen a mile away this ending causing an issue. Not with me, because I really didn't give a damn.
Yeah.
And I understand the way wrestling works with the social justice warriors.
Yep.
Hmm.
Well, let's move the train along. Let's just go over some tidbits real quick. We don't need to get into Big E versus Jimmy Uso. It is what it is. All the divas had backstage vignettes with Daniel Bryan. By the way, guys, was Daniel Bryan fucking drunk on this episode? Because he seemed like he was a little tipsy. You know what I really did love, though? We neglected to mention. We'll just go ahead right into it now. When Daniel Bryan came out with all the women, when James Ellsworth made that shot about his daughter, that was tremendous. I really liked that, and you could see the intensity in Daniel Bryan. We haven't gotten serious like Daniel Bryan forever, so it was nice to see that for once. You know what I mean? Because ever since he's been GM, let's be honest, he's like this. Oh, I'm a pushover best friend, pally. Sure, I'm a good old GM. No, you're a fucking GM. Teddy Long wouldn't have put up with that shit.
Holla, holla.
Holla, holla, holla.
Holla, holla.
Now, when it came out to, obviously, because let's move on from the women after this, but what did, Logan, what did you think of all the women and it finally being made a Money in the Bank match? How did this segment play out for you?
It played out, honestly, too many segments, too many separate angles with the women. I think they could have just done something in the very beginning with all the women in the ring or something, instead of just doing, coming in every 15 minutes to talk to Daniel.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm excited about the Money in the Bank women's match, and I'm hoping to God that it's better than what we got at Money in the Bank.
I don't see how it couldn't be. I think they've learned their lesson, especially on the redo. Kristen, did this fall flat for you with all the women out there with Daniel Bryan, or do you think it got a pass for you?
No, I think it fell completely flat. Like, I mean, like, I could get like a few of them. Like, Tamina's whole, like, I don't want to say she was like upset, but her kind of whole segment didn't pop for me. Natalia is just kind of like, Natalia's kind of gotten under my skin with annoyance at this point. And I was a big Natalia fan. Like, I was kind of like, okay, I wouldn't mind seeing her, but I mean, this week it just kind of fell flat. The only one I actually kind of felt sorry for was Becky Lynch. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, oh, right in the feels when she was like, I'm so used to be. I can't mimic her voice for shit, so I apologize.
I'm going with that buffalo. I'm Becky Lynch. It's the best I can do.
I'm Becky Lynch, and I'm used to being screwed over, but I'm ready for it, and I'm sorry, but I'm used to that. And it's like, damn it, why WWE? Other than that, everyone else's, it's just kind of like, here, let me play the world's smallest violin.
Yep.
Other than that, Becky Lynch's promo, absolutely fucking awesome. Everyone else is just kind of lackluster at best.
Yeah. Yep. I can't argue with that. Matt, what do you think of this?
I agree with Logan and our good lady guest here that I wasn't interested in the whole gathering by the time we got done with the single segments. No, the overacting killed it for me. Yes, Becky Lynch did really well. She had a really good promo, but Natalia's acting just repugnant. And then them little jabs they had at each other on the mic. Didn't was it me or did Tamina say exactly the same as Charlotte?
Thank you, because I was
She
waiting
did.
to say that.
She did.
And she looked completely dumb doing it. It was like everybody was waiting for this line, and then Tamina says it, and it was, oh yeah, that's exactly what Charlotte's just said. Not one reaction.
It's like, here, WWE was like, here, we don't know what the fuck we're gonna do with you right now, so just repeat everything Charlotte says, okay?
It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
WWE
we've
with
run out of lines.
Tamina.
There you go.
It's like they're like, well, her father just died, so let's not release her yet. Slow her bone. That's how it comes off.
Oh.
I don't want to be that guy, but fine, fuck it, come at me. Why is Tamina in this company as an in-ring performer? Can you answer that, Jay? Why? Why?
Her father's
I'm
name.
sorry. What was the question?
Why is Tamina still an active performer? And I get it, her father's name, but besides that, take that out of the equation. Why is she
She
here?
looks like a guy. Oh,
Because
Oh.
I don't know. I guess some guys like thick girls too. I don't know. Other than that Snuka, her last name being Snuka, I really don't know. I have absolutely no idea. And you know what you guys were saying. I got the same thing. First of all, it's pretty sad that the best part of this woman's promo was Daniel Bryan, saying that he's gonna kick James Ellsworth's ass.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, Charlotte just finished saying, "I'm gonna make you look like Ellsworth."
Yeah.
Nia Jax, Tamina Snuka takes the damn mic. I'm waiting to hear something, and she goes, "Yeah, I'll make you look like James Ellsworth." And I'm like, "What? Did my TV just skip?" I'm like, "What the hell?" She just repeated the exact same things word for word. Like, get the hell off my television.
And I think the fact that you even stumbled and called her Nia Jax translates to what I'm trying to get across even better. We need two Nia Jax. One is fine.
Freudian slip.
And I'll take Nia Jax over Tamina Snuka any day. That's just my personal preference. I don't know. The match, hopefully, it's got to be good. A lot better. Let's stop talking about this for a little bit. This is something. Let's get some more old school on him, Jay, because I know that's your bag. Chad
Yes.
Gable answers the open challenge to Kevin Owens. A lot of people didn't like this because, he squashed Chad Gable. He's a tag guy, people. Calm down. He's a tag team wrestler. All this did was remind me of like NWA in 1989 when the Steiners would be singles sometimes. And Scott Steiner would have a title match against Ric Flair. He would always lose. I don't think Chad Gable came off as weak in this, Chris. And I thought it was booked okay for, at the end of the day, he is a tag guy. And I thought this was fine. What did you think of this, Chris?
I thought it was actually, because everyone's like, everyone's got their own, like, I don't want to say their own, like, wet dream, but their own, like, who they would want to see face Kevin Owens. Like, the fact that they picked someone that obviously a lot of people would not have normally have chosen, or maybe would have chosen, and then somebody else, like, comes out, interferes in the match, and ends it, kind of thing. I was actually okay with this. I like Chad and Gable. I didn't at first. They were kind of like just a kind of flash in the pan for me at first
Right.
when I first started watching them. But he actually did very well. It's just that, not everyone's big on those two. Like you said, they are a tag team. When you think of one, you generally tend to think of the other. But overall, I don't think it was a bad match. He didn't come off as weak to me. He did hold his own up until the very end, in my opinion.
And I think this match itself, Matt, is a case of fans don't know what they want. People bitch weekly that they're giving away all these free matches on television, even Steven booking. Well, they do something like they did back in the day. They use a tag team guy as an enhancement talent. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they did pretty much the blueprint of what you fucking people were asking for, and it's not good enough. That's why I didn't have a problem
You
with
don't
this.
get to have your cake and eat it too.
Exactly.
Fuck
And
right off.
this harkened back to old school for me. It gave me that old school feel of a tag guy, breaking through, like, give me a shot, I'm worth it. And just kind of getting there, but not quite enough to get past Owens. Matt, what did you think of this match?
I enjoyed the match. I just got the feeling that it was more to set up another pay-per-view Owen Styles. Because wasn't it Styles that basically started the match by saying ring the bell?
Right, well, you had Chad Gable coming out interrupting, saying he's from Dayton, Ohio. He just moved there, and you got Varsity Blues, AJ Styles on the mic saying, "I don't want your life." Pretty much, yeah, he is from Ohio. It was really, I didn't like Styles in this, by the way.
But yeah, I enjoyed the match. I think out of Gable and Jordan, Gable's got the best singles potential, maybe.
Right.
For me, I've always preferred Gable over Jordan, but I mean, it was just filler, really, wasn't it? Did anyone really expect Gable to win?
No, I don't think anybody.
Exactly.
No.
Logan, what did you think of this match and segment?
Give props to this match. I thought it was underlooked just because of the Nakamura and Dolph Ziggler match, but we'll get into that later.
Actually,
I just don't know what else to really say. Is just
it was a match. Jay, did you think this harkened back to old school for you? Like you got that Steiner's as singles back in the day thing, or you just didn't like this at all?
No, I'm right with you, man. And what you say about the fans complaining, I mean, it's if it's not one thing, it's the other. That's just the way it works these days. But I found absolutely nothing wrong with the match. I mean, Gable had his spots. I mean, it was he had a couple nice suplexes. I don't think anybody in their right mind actually felt that he was going to go over. It was obviously predictable that Kevin Owens would go over. My only one gripe with this thing was the fact that we haven't seen American Alpha in how many months, and this is how they return. I think it was just really random. Yeah. I would have liked to see them return better. Outside of that, though, that if we're just talking just the match, and even the segment was funny as hell. They come down, he's like, "Yeah, I just moved to Ohio. Yeah, I'm from Ohio. I just moved there today." That was all great. The match was good. I just wish it wasn't on their return that this happened.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. We haven't seen Alpha for months, and all of a sudden, oh hey, I'm one half of Alpha. I get that. I totally agree. Let's move right along to Shinsuke Nakamura and Dolph Ziggler. Now, I know Matt and I re-recorded Union Smack earlier today, and we talked about this a little bit. We are in agreement that we both think they gave Ziggler way too fucking much in this match. Way too much. Matt, go ahead.
I just think, one, they've overused Nakamura hideously. He's gone cold for me now. Like, what he had in NXT, he hasn't got anymore on SmackDown. And Dolph Ziggler, we saw this at Backlash. I saw all I needed to see of these two against each other at Backlash. And I didn't need another, what did it go, 12, 15 minutes maybe?
Yeah. I mean, they could have gave it to us again, but can put it more down to 4 or 5 minutes. They are not, they cannot be in this, just like with Finn Balor. It's like they're in this rest hold period or stagnating period. Now is the time or never to make both these guys look strong on both brands. You know what I'm saying? You can't, it's one thing if Nakamura goes out there with like a fucking, I don't know, Randy Orton or somebody has a competitive match. But Christ, it's 2017 Dolph Ziggler. It's 2017 Dolph Ziggler.
He doesn't belong there anymore.
And that's what that's another title in the video I was going to bring up earlier. Dolph Ziggler is a guy that would totally benefit from going to Japan. I could see him in the Bullet Club and all that fucking shit. This guy just needs a kick in the ass, a rejuvenation for his career and character more than anyone on the roster I see right now. Because talk about a guy that's just squandered talent. This guy should have been a world champion multiple times by now if booked. I was fine with Big E as his bodyguard, like a Diesel and Shawn Michaels. They should have never broke that up, in my opinion, back in the day. I think if they hadn't, we might be seeing a total different Dolph Ziggler. Now, you guys could all agree, and you might not think Ziggler's in that light, but I can see Ziggler as a world title guy if the kind of like a Bobby Roode, like a money rich prick, fucking, but he can go. I just think it's time for Dolph. He did re-sign his contract, correct, guys? So he's here for a little bit.
Right. Yeah. For me, like I absolutely agree with what you're saying, and as a matter of fact, up until I'd say maybe 6 to 8 months ago, Dolph Ziggler was one of my top 5 guys in the WWE easily. But with crappy booking, I've just gone away from him, where to the fact that I don't even give a crap about him anymore. Now, regarding what you were saying with Nakamura, I kind of disagree a little bit in the fact that since Nakamura has debuted on SmackDown, we haven't had a chance for the people. Okay, like us. Okay, we analyze this shit, so we know who Nakamura is. We know him from NXT. Some people know him from New Japan.
Yeah.
But for the casuals who only know him from what they see on the main roster, if I'm a person on the only watching Raw and SmackDown, this guy is just like anybody else to me. There's no difference between Nakamura and Elias Sampson, to be honest. And I think it was very important. This match that happened on SmackDown was actually very important for the future of Nakamura. And I know I'm probably making a big deal out of it, and it should, but I think it does because Nakamura hasn't done anything really since being on the main roster. So at least he has this under his belt. People got to see a glimpse of what this guy is about.
I think that we are in a totally different time, obviously, as opposed to even 5 years ago, where, okay, a lot of you can make the claim that the casuals don't know Nakamura. I play the flip side of that. Nakamura was in the WWE 2K video game last year, which always sells well. People know who Nakamura is. The casuals know who he is at the end of the day. I mean, we're in a state with wrestling where price ratings are so bad, fans are so sour on the product that the majority of the casuals also still have the network, because it's like only the hardcore fans like us are the only ones still watching right now. It's gotten that bad, correct? We can all agree, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
I just think people like to play, and I'm not saying you are, but I think especially WWE like to play that cop out role of the casual fans don't know who he is. Bullshit. He's all over video games. There was like a pre-order edition for the game last year, I think, where you got like Nakamura poster or something, right?
Oh, you got a signed Nakamura poster.
So
yeah.
I'm pretty sure people knew who he is. It's just how they're handling him.
That was part of the reason I bought it.
But I can see where you're
Wasn't
coming
paying the
from.
extra for the Finn Balor statue because that was fucking redonkulous, the amount they wanted. But
Oh yeah, I think WWE likes to play that cop out role when shit gets too tough and their booking fucking sucks. They love to go just like when the ratings are shitty and they like to make, oh, there's a basketball game or a hockey game on. Well, guess what, Vince? Guess what? The last 2 weeks you have nothing against you. And how are the ratings? So I don't know. Logan.
so there's that.
Yeah. Logan, what did you think of Dolphy, Zigglesworth, and Nakamura? My name is Shinsuke.
Zigglesworth.
I actually enjoyed this match better than Backlash. I will go out and say it. But I think I agree with what Matt said. I think I've seen enough. I saw enough of the two in Backlash.
Yeah.
And I think it's time to move on. I just don't know what direction you're going to put Nakamura at right now. He's kind of like what Finn Balor is doing on Raw. Like you just don't know where he should be in the shuffle right now.
And I know one of the other tags in the video, the last one was Cena versus Jinder? ? John Cena is obviously coming back next week, guys. A lot of people in dirt sheets are reporting he's going to beat Jinder for the title. That's going to be the feud. I would do Nakamura and Cena at SummerSlam and put Nakamura over. Like I said, now is the time to make the motherfucker look strong. And I just think that's the way to go. Am I wrong? I mean, I could be.
Nakamura.
I don't think so.
Good.
My only issue with Nakamura and Cena, which while it would be an amazing match, SummerSlam is only a little while away, so you'd have to figure out how do they get to that. It depends on how they get to that. I honestly think it's going to be Jinder versus John Cena at SummerSlam, like the rumors say. But I hope and pray to all the wrestling gods that by some miracle, Jinder goes over and just swerves the shit out of everybody.
Oh yeah, Jinder Mania is running wild in my household. I'm enjoying the run. I'm not gonna lie. Because it's new. It's something everyone's bitched about. Everything's stale. We want something new. But when they give you guys something new, you bitch. I'm enjoying it.
No, not that. We didn't want that.
Yeah, it's not an
exactly
ROH guy. What are you doing now? It's fine. Jinder's
I'm a freaking Maholic through and through.
This match was better than the Backlash match, Logan, but the problem is this should have just been on fucking Backlash. This was a free TV show match where it should have been more, I'm not going to say squash for Ziggler, but just less offense than Ziggler. Like I said, it makes Shinsuke look a little bit stronger, but who the fuck am I? We did get a sit-down interview with Mr. Phoning in himself, the Viper, Randy Orton. I myself phoned it in because it's a Randy Orton interview. So, go ahead.
Yeah. It wasn't. I mean, he looked serious. I'll give him that. And the words that came out of his mouth. We're getting Orton Jinder 3. The rumours are Punjabi prison match at Battleground. But I'm done with this. I'm done with this whole fucking feud. Like, he's lost twice.
Yeah.
He's not gonna win third time. It's pointless.
If anything,
I can't believe Randy Orton agreed to, because I think it's certain that Randy Orton's not going over. I can't believe Randy Orton agreed to let Jinder go over on him 3 times. That's amazing. That's more amazing to me than anything.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I said to Travis, was it last week on the Money in the Bank post show, that Randy Orton's done more for Jinder Mahal than he ever did for Bray Wyatt in X amount of months.
I can't argue with that at all. Cannot argue with that. I mean, at the end of the day, we all know why Jinder has that belt. They're trying to get their Indian, because they know the Indian population, everything over there. They're just trying to have that, that go-to Indian champion. It's see-through, it's transparent. We know what you're doing, nobody, but it's fine. It's something new, and I think Jinder, come at me, he looks good with that belt, Logan.
I agree. I think he does look better than what the Great Khali ever did.
At least he doesn't hold it upside down at the end of the day.
Oh God!
I mean, I'm not. You know what? A lot of people are sour on just the thought of making this a Punjabi prison match. Matt, you already talked to me off air about this many times. I'm okay with it because all we have to compare to is Great Khali, so it couldn't be worse than that. And I think for the third match, if they're going to do it, it does need to be a gimmick match for the blow off. But you could have just made it Styles right now if you want to get Jinder over. Just because Styles. Why is Styles going for the U.S. title? How is that doing Styles any favors? It's a step back at the end of the day. It's like when Triple H went for the IC title in 2001. It made no fucking sense.
The way I look at it, though, I don't think it's I mean, of course, you could look at it as a step down for AJ Styles. But also, on the flip side, is it a step up for the U.S. title? The fact that 2 guys like Kevin Owens and AJ Styles are going after that title. I mean, one of the biggest gripes I've had personally with the product, WWE, is their mid-card titles have been absolutely shit. Mm-hmm. Like we said a million times already on this show, I'm an old school guy. My favorite title was always the IC title. That title has so much behind it. And now it's like, minus Miz's runs with it, has been kind of a joke. So I think that's why they're doing it with the U.S. title. They're trying to give it back some credibility.
Imagine, Jay, imagine in 1990, and the IC belt has lost a little bit of credibility. So let's put it on fucking Hogan. That makes no sense. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I get from
Hogan. Not Hogan, but Warrior. I mean, Warrior was a top guy.
Warrior was an IC guy first, and then that catapulted him to the world title, and he never looked back. He would have never fucking even attempted to go back down to the IC belt. You know what I mean? It's like I said, when Triple H feuded with Jeff Hardy in 2001, after he already had a world title run, it didn't make sense. I hate when they do this.
The reason why they do that now versus back then is because now wrestling's on like every minute of the day.
Yeah.
There's so much wrestling too. At some point, every single person on the roster is going to hold some title at some point. Because that's just the way it is. There's so much product these days versus back in the day. There was no Raw back in the early 90s. You got one pay-per-view every 3 months, and that was it.
I mean, you had superstars, but that's nowhere near fucking.
And Wrestling Challenge.
Wrestling Challenge. Who's that? Shout out to that ring announcer lady in like the tailcoat
Mike
tuxedo.
McGurk.
There you
go.
go.
You talking about?
Wait,